The stories you've never heard.
Who did Susie O'Neill famously slap?
The jokes behind the jokes.
What would happen if I did a great big fart?
For the first time ever on Ash, Lachie, and Susie O'Neill.
That Chando just peed a pants.
We go behind the laughter.
It's the end of another week. Welcome to Behind the Laughter, the producers podcast, taking you behind the scenes of everyone's favourite show. Ash, Lachie and Susie O'Neill. It's the producers here, digital producer Nick, and of course Lachie, assistant producer extraordinaire. Hello, my friend. How are you? Welcome to the end of another week.
I'm good. I just need to clarify: assistant producer and audience engagement
hybrid
project
role,
manager.
Hybrid theory, absolutely.
So that is my official role.
2 paychecks, surely. You have to think so.
Nope.
Okay.
Just 2 half paychecks.
No.
Makes up 1.
2 halves equals... Oh, okay, anyway.
Yeah.
It's been another massive week. Lutzie's in Paris. We've got a bit of a different Lutz now that he's finished. Like the Olympians, when they finish their role, he's a bit freer now, and he's out. And
the shackles.
The shackles have been just released, and, geez, he's having a good time over there in Paris. So I reckon we're going to get a very, not to say he hasn't been, but he'll be like a very worldly, vibrant Lutzie. The stories he'll be able to tell on Monday morning are what you want to listen out for. So that's something I'm very excited about. Susie's birthday today.
Oh, what a day.
What a day. She's got a Donut King delivered. Thank you to the team over there.
Nick, what were you doing 51 years ago on this day?
I'm trying to work when 51 years ago was. So that is 1973. Lachie, my parents were teenagers, so...
Yeah.
That's weird. That's so weird to think about. Really fun. I was actually talking to Mum and Dad the other day, and we were talking about Suze and just reflecting on because they loved watching her. Grow. They just
my
adore
mother-in-law.
her as a swimmer,
We were at a cafe last weekend, and we were talking about the swimming because the Olympics had just started. Swimming had just started. And I was just repeating stuff that Suze had said. Nothing groundbreaking.
Lachie, that's most of what I do.
No,
just absorb the information.
Yeah. But you kind of repeating stuff. And my mother-in-law was like, I had her hook, line, and sinker. She was just, every word that I said that was quoted directly to Suze.
Well done.
She was like, this is incredible to have this sort of insight from an Olympic swimmer through my son-in-law. Like, this is fascinating. And I got all the brownie points. My brother-in-law, the only other son-in-law that she has, was sitting there, and he looked like an absolute schmuck because he couldn't recite anything that Suze said. So, no, sorry, you were saying you were talking to your parents?
Yeah, I was talking to them, and because Suze had a great reaction the other morning when she was watching Ariane and Molly. I think they shared the podium.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Oh, it might have been Emma. Anyway, our women have won so many gold in the pool. It's very hard to keep up with. But they one invited the other up onto the podium.
It would have been Molly O'Callaghan and Ariane Titmus. Ariane came in second.
Yep.
Suze, funnily enough, actually hated it though.
No, wasn't a fan of it. And because her and Petrea Thomas came 1 and 2 back in Atlanta, and they were swimming rivals, and that's the thing. Like it's crazy to think, but your teammate can very much be your rival.
Yeah.
And she was just saying there was no way that I would share a podium, and we pulled up the footage. I wasn't going to post it, but I pulled up the footage, and 100%. I was saying to Mum and Dad, I'm like, yeah, it was hilarious. That was her reaction to it, and they were like, oh, she was an Iron Maiden when she swam. And what you think about this wonderful, like, goofy individual that we see on a daily basis, but when she was a competitor, like, she was locked in.
It is fascinating. Obviously, I'm not an elite athlete. I've never reached the heights. We joke about in our Handball Blitz podcast that I came second in the 2009 Junior League State School handball competition. That was probably the peak of my athletic career, and it's fascinating just seeing an insight into the mental state of an athlete. Like that. Sue's going, no, I wouldn't even offer to invite someone up onto the podium with me because I've earned the right to stand on the dais. Like, you wouldn't even do that. It's like I'm running my own race, and I would hate to be invited up to stand because I haven't earned the right to do that. Similarly, Harry Garside this week, after he was eliminated, he said some really fascinating things that were really eye-opening as a fan of sport. He was saying that he was really disappointed in himself. He felt like he failed the nation, failed himself, and said, I believe in his post-match kind of post-match press conference, post-fight press conference, I should say, that he was saying, I worry about where I'm going to be in the next 6 months, mentally. And then he had a couple of hours to think about it and put out this really great video, I thought, on social media going, do you know what, I've had some time to think about it. I've calmed down a little bit, but the great thing about everything I've done for the last 8 years or whatever, it's about me becoming a friend of myself.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, maybe it's social media, maybe partially because we get to work, alongside someone who's an Olympic champion. Getting to see the insight into some of these athletes has become maybe my main takeaway from this Olympics.
The mental processing is incredible. And again, like, you are a finely tuned machine, and you have to realize that if the body is working that hard, then the mind to make the body do that is going to another level, plus all the extra processing there. So, we've learned a lot. And again, that's the insight you get by listening to our show during this period of time around the sporting event starting with O. So I can't say too much more, just legal reasons. But no, so that's 1 week of this kind of coverage, and we've got another one coming up afterwards. We're getting a lot of Lachie's takeaways and learnings from Paris 2024, 8 years away from Brisbane. So I've been hanging on every single word there, which has been great. But look, it's been a fun week, Lock. I'm just sort of just going through. I've spent a bit of time doing the Paris quiz. Finally get to show off my French knowledge. I've been pushing this for a while, and look, I like to think I've
It
I've
has
delivered.
been the week of Nick.
It's been a good week, and look, it's just next man up mentality. Of course, Mitch will be back Monday morning. Don't worry, you don't have to deal with this crap for much longer. Mitch will be back doing the thing he does best, so it's okay, guys. Don't worry. We've got some exciting stuff for Mitch this week. I know he listens to this, and I know that he doesn't know what's about to happen. So we can build this up a little bit. I'm excited about this.
He doesn't know. Sometimes in radio, you kind of joke about people not knowing, or teasing things that
we've seen that before, haven't we?
is a bit of a secret, but actually everyone on team knows about it. This is genuinely, Mitch does not know what's coming for next week. So that's exciting. And hopefully this maybe ruins his weekend, because he'll start thinking about it. He'll overthink. And then we'll see what comes on Monday.
It wouldn't be like Mitch to overthink something.
No, not at all.
That's all right, Mitch. You're all good. Now, of course, you probably can't hear Alicia's voice right now, because Alicia just said to us just before we started recording, guys, I've got a lot of work to do. And did I feel lazy in that moment? Maybe. I'm like, she's on another level.
If you feel lazy, I feel worse, because I work directly with Alicia to make things happen. And I've gone, should I be in here doing this podcast?
Of course you should.
If Alicia is working hard, I actually don't know what she is doing. So that's a little bit of a concern.
No, we'll launch an investigation into that, no, without a doubt. But no, it's been a big weekend. Hey, Lachie, really quickly, so I didn't get to talk to you about this, but you'll hear on the Main Body podcast today. We were talking about, and I'm not asking you to play any audio here, but we were talking about, and it's a really good point Lachie made, songs that Australians play in celebration. And to his point, we haven't really had anything since, really, I think, Men at Work. That was about 1982, Down Under. And he did raise a really good point, and we had some suggestions come through on the phone. Someone suggested Shepherd, but I think that's a bit more marketed towards a global audience. But I thought back, I go, Shannon Knoll Lift, I think was my suggestion in about 2006-07. But you're right, there hasn't actually been like an Australian celebration song. But it's a weird area, because you know when like in football World Cups or something like that, and songs are specifically written for like an event, and you hear it and go, was that your best effort? It was really like, okay.
It feels like you're ticking boxes. There are songs that are written for big events like that, and you talk about the football World Cup, FIFA World Cup. It feels like they're just going chanting. You need a bit of like recall. There's usually like the sort of like a traditional instrument of the area. Like the great ones, Waka Waka in 2010. Waving Flag, both of those. Only one of them is the official World Cup song. But we don't quite have that anymore. Delta Goodrum's Together We Are One. She played at the 2006 Commonwealth Games opening ceremony. Not quite a triumphant sing-along song per se, but at least it hit the brief. Because, you always hear this song in the big montage at the end of the games. Yeah. But you're right. I think, because when the Matildas beat France in the penalty shootout, were you there that night? Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, and Down Under played straight away. And I still listen back. I watch that all the time and I go, it hits really well, but you're right, we don't have it. So if there's any budding songwriters out there, there is a market that really needs to be fueled ahead of 2032. Some anthemic sort of like Australian celebration song that just isn't too corny, isn't too kitsch, just hit that sweet spot.
But that's the thing, I think, trying to find a song that isn't naff is ridiculously hard.
Because even Hall of Fame, the script and Will I Am, when you really look at it,
if someone tried to write
naff.
Yeah, if someone tried to write an Australian version of Hall of Fame, you go, oh, that's too much. I've got here are two songs that mean something to me. One we've covered extensively on this show. I've done a Red Room covering it.
And this is you.
Yeah, this is me. This isn't Nikki Webster. But this was sung at the 2000 Olympics opening ceremony.
Yeah, it doesn't quite.
No, it's not anthemic enough. It's not exciting. It doesn't get you going. The other song, once again, I don't think it fits this same.
Strawberry Kisses?
No, that would have been a good follow up. This is another song that I think when I hear crowds of people sing it, it does something to me.
There we go. Yep.
But we are
See, this still works.
It's
I think originally the Seekers that wrote this.
correct. You're correct.
Still would work really well as a national anthem,
Yeah.
but you're right. I would love to hear this more in crowds.
It's not a It's not a song that you sing after a win. It's a song that should be sung by crowds.
This should be sung in the terraces. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, and because we're in a sort of place right now, we're going so far away from this, but let's just keep cooking. We're in a sort of place right now where the Ocker stuff, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't really vibe with it the way I used to. Like Aussie makes me cringe a little bit, but it's because it's all we had. And also, we stole it from the Welsh, I believe, during the 2000 games. Yeah, look
There you
into it. Well, we didn't come up with that. We stole that from another country.
Oh, it wouldn't be the first time that Australia's stolen something.
Oh, absolutely right. Well, we took all the British back in the day, and but they became ours, so that's fair enough. But that would work really on the terraces back in the day, and I used to love it. And then I thought it was cringe when I was a few years ago. But now it's like I've come full circle because I really miss the singing in the crowds. So after, and usually like in a Bledisloe Cup or something, the Kiwis would do the haka, and that only gets better and better at like every single match. But we used to have someone like John Williamson or Troy Casadale just walking around with a guitar playing Waltz Sing Matilda. And the further we've come, I go, geez, that would actually be really good right now. But my problem with Australians is we don't remember lyrics.
No.
I don't know if you've ever picked up on this. We are shocking at remembering lyrics.
Yeah, I mean...
we know a chorus, but that's it.
Yeah, it's true. It is a strange thing. This isn't really related to Ashley and Susie O'Neill, but I guess we were talking about on the show. I think for me there are two types of songs, and they didn't really delineate between the two. There is the songs that you sing once you win, and it just celebrates Australian culture. And it's like that. And then there's the other songs that are more like I Am, You Are, We Are Australian, where it's like you wouldn't necessarily sing this after a win, but you'd sing this because this is like, it means something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like, no one's singing I Am Australian, but in the stands, that would go off. And do you know what? It actually...
Simple lyrics, easy to sing along, yeah.
That song...
Good, strong vowels to just bellow out as well. You're the musician of the two of us. So
that song is used by at least Brisbane Raw. It's been co-opted. We are one, but we are many, and from all the lands on earth we come. We share a dream. There's an echo that goes, we share a dream.
Yep, I've heard that.
And sing with one voice, I hate, you hate, we hate Victoria. So every time anytime the Raw are playing against the Victorian team, that song is sung. But I think that song could be adopted.
Yeah, and somehow they changed the lyrics just enough so the Seekers receive no royalties from that whatsoever.
Exactly.
Lucky, we should probably pivot back to the show and what's going on. We've gone to a rich area here, but nice to see our friends Paddy Carrigan and Lachie Neale join us in the last couple of days.
Fantastic! A great shout out to Lachie Neale. I didn't realise this. He's becoming a dad again.
Pigeon pair.
So that's exciting for him. It felt like Suze was breaking that news.
Yeah, I mean, did we break it? Because I haven't seen any club posts or anything like that. So there we go.
I don't think she did, but there was a moment where she was like, "Oh, was I meant to say that?" Oh no.
Given the wealth of knowledge that our show has, we actually accidentally break news all the time.
Yeah.
Because I think we just forget like what we're supposed to keep secret and what not.
Yeah.
So like if someone like Georgie Cleland from the Courier Mail is monitoring our show, which we know she does, yeah, absolutely. Like, we could fill out the entertainment pages for days and days to come. So, that would be my recommendation there. But no, we don't set up and go, all right, exclusive coming up at 7:10. You won't hear this anywhere. We don't do that. We don't do that. It just accidentally falls out at 7:43. Like,
we're suddenly teasing something. We're teasing rugby tickets, and while we're teasing rugby tickets, someone drops a bombshell, some news that no one's heard about, and you go, "Oh, did that just happen? Oh, let's just move on." Up next, Ed Sheeran or whatever it is.
There we go.
So, no, plenty of stuff happened this week. You were obviously out in the street. We had
a nice time on the street this week.
We spoke about on Wednesday's podcast that you got to do some things that were very exciting, like a Wednesday's show.
It was a good day.
It was a good day for you. Thursday, you then went out. Handball blitzed it up.
Yeah, unfortunately a technological issue out there, but that was all covered on yesterday's Handball Blitz official podcast,
Yep.
So just go back and listen to that there. And then this morning, I got thrown under the bus for this, but and then a cacophony of Nick impressions from Ash, Lachie and Buzz, all terrible in my mind. I think that they're just, I don't know, they haven't got the cadence right. There's a certain nuance to it that they just can't quite find.
It's interesting when you talk about impressions, there's almost like... There's two kind of ways you could do an impression. There is like the someone who's actually perfectly replicating the person they're trying to emulate, or there is like the the pantomime.
There's pantomime. There's Arnold Schwarzenegger or Donald Trump. Like everyone knows what you're doing, but it's not actually really trying to. Yeah.
There's the pantomime version of it where you're playing up things that is not
a caricature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I feel like the guys do a good caricature of you. They don't necessarily nail perfectly the Nick.
I'd just like to see a bit more effort on their behalf.
No, but
I'm asking us to lift our standards. That's where I'm going.
I think it's funnier when there's more of a caricature, because if they
it
were
is
to replicate you like one for one, it wouldn't actually be that funny. You'd lose interest in the humor.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't say I am a super funny person. I reckon I can be funny, but I'm a student of comedy. I'll call myself that. And so when I heard that Colin Jost, and I want to clarify, it's Colin Jost, not Colin Jost.
Or Colin Just van der Verstuyzen, as we've nearly gone to that territory.
But Colin Jost got a feature on today's show, actually, because he is covering the surfing over in Tahiti.
For NBC,
For NBC, for Peacock. And
that's so what Peacock is like. It's an arm of NBC, like the way it's, I guess, not streaming service, but a subsidiary.
No, Peacock is a streaming service for NBC.
Okay, so like Stan for 9.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm with you.
And so Colin was covering it over in Tahiti, and then he obviously got injured. And so Luke Bradnam, Ash's brother,
Bradnam's worldwide,
got to step up and do the NBC coverage. Now, I saw just the other day, it was only on TikTok, but they had Keenan Thompson, who's another SNL
alumni.
Well, he's still involved.
You're right. He hasn't graduated yet.
And Kevin Hart was doing the coverage with Colin. So I don't know who he's brushing shoulders with. What the coverage was like.
Well, okay, Luke's a tall man. He won't be brushing shoulders with Kevin Hart. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, that's true. But I don't know who he would have been interacting with on the coverage. I'm gonna try and now find to see if there's any footage that I can track down of Luke doing the cross. But that would have been some pretty reputable people to be brushing shoulders with.
Well, and look, despite being part of another station, but he is also he's that nearly DNA match of Ash Bradnam, and therefore he is part of the Ash Lutz and Susie extended cinematic universe. So that's a win for us.
We've just been interrupted. Hold on.
Oh, always interrupted.
What's happening?
I do. There we go. That's a great behind the scenes there. I still had the keys to the Supernova car in my pocket. They're nice and warm now for Amber. She's come and got them.
Oh, anyway,
it is what it is.
Great to see Colin Jost get coverage. Hopefully he recovers well. But maybe we can use Luke to try and weasel our way to get Colin on the show. That'd be a great interview.
I would like that. I would like that a lot. I mean, once the guys understand who it is, because they're like him and Michael Che on SNL. Like SNL is not what it used to be. There's no doubt about that. But I think that segment still really holds up.
Yeah, for sure. I could nerd out about Saturday Night Live and I guess the role that it plays within the. I
mean, we could do a separate podcast, Lachie, because we don't have enough podcasts as part of this show.
And this is true. Maybe we just break down. I guess Behind the Laughter is about the comedy of this show. Maybe we do Behind the Laughter non-Ash Lutz and Sue's edition. Yeah. No, that's good. Anything else? Anything to tease coming up next week that you're excited about?
No, we're going to wrap this up right here, Lachie, my man,
sure.
Because there's so much exciting stuff. I want Monday to really just hit with a punch.
Well, you said that, but I do want to tease the fact that Handball Blitz is so close.
Oh, so yeah, I can feel it. It is same. It smells in the air.
We are only like 2 weeks away from maybe 3 weeks away. What am I? It's a Friday night game.
It's a Friday night game. I can't reveal the date just yet, but I do know which game it is going to be.
It's Well, we can say it's
3 weeks away.
Yeah, we can say it's 3 weeks away.
So we've probably got another 2 weeks of visits. Then there'll be semi-finals. Working on a story behind the scenes about that. We're just confirming from a few sources there, but a drastic change to the environment, which is
yes,
yeah, they're really going to. If people have been preparing for the way they had the last 2 years, I'd suggest right now throw that preparation manual out the window because things are going to change. But that's what we cover in the Handball Blitz podcast, working on that story. But we're not far away, Lachie. Not far away.
So 3 weeks away for Handball Blitz, which means yes, as you said, 2 more school visits to do. It's 2 weeks more of school visits to do, and then we'll visit probably the final of schools. I'm imagining. I'm imagining that'll be the case, and that'll really. I've been called into a meeting. Yeah, there's a meeting that I have to attend for this Handball Blitz thing.
I've not been invited to that meeting.
That is, it's after hours, after my work hours.
You're joking.
Yeah, so I'll be pulling a long shift next Thursday to make sure that Handball Blitz is all as good as it can be.
Huge,
so it's going to be a great time, is all I'm trying to say. If you're listening to this, still, thanks for sticking around. But get excited for Handball Blitz. And if you haven't registered, there's a kid on the street that you live on. Maybe you work with someone who's got kids. Register them for Handball Blitz.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. It could be like a wild card. It's not just first in, best serve. Like, you
No.
get on the last day, last admission. But at the same time, don't be like the Nigerian 100-meter runner who the Nigerian Federation forgot to register her for the Olympics. She would have been in, she has the times for the final. Missed out. Don't be the Nigerian
Stop
sprinter.
it.
That's what I always say.
No way. Well, that'll be it for this episode of Behind the Laughter.
You forgot what podcast we were on. We do so many, lot.
We do. But thank you, Rachel Corbett. Hopefully this is enough.